What is up, guys? My name is Asteroid and welcome back to the next episode of our Pokemon competitive guide. So guys, today we're gonna be going in and covering Dragalge or Dragalge or however you say it. But anyways, thank you Jonathan for suggesting this Pokemon. If you guys want your favorite Pokemon or just any Pokemon in general to be covered in this series, then suggest a Pokemon down below and I will definitely get on that. So starting off, Dragalge or Dragalge or however you say it, I don't know, I'm going to say Dragalge is a very powerful Pokemon with a very good special defense stat, a pretty decent HP stat, a okay special attack stat, not the greatest defense, not the greatest speed at all, but this Pokemon has some fantastic abilities, some great moves, and a pretty sick typing, which is Dragon Poison. So that being said, let's start off with the first Dragalge set. Now this set is more of a basic set. It is the Choice Specs Adaptability. That is right, guys, Adaptability with the max special attack, max HP, 4 and special defense set. One of the cool things about Dragalge is, of course, Adaptability. If you guys do not know how Adaptability works, basically it takes your normal stab boost, which is 1.5 times, and takes that up a notch to 2 times. Very powerful. It really is. Pokemon like Mega Lucario and Porygon Z get this ability and it really does work out well. Any dragon type move or any poison type move is gonna do a lot of damage. So that being said, this thing hits hard. It really does. Adaptability, go with the choice specs, go with the max special attack, modest nature, put in the work. That is all I'm saying. So anyways, for the moves, we have Draco Meteor, Sludge Wave, Scald, and Thunderbolt. Now, the reason why I'm running Draco Meteor and I'm not running Dragon Pulse is because I wanted to go all out power. I wanted to go all out with this set, and Draco Meteor is definitely the way to do that. Now, if you wanted to run the Dragon Pulse, you definitely could. You're going to be sacrificing a bit of power there, but it's not going to lower your special attack by 2, and it's also not going to have that accuracy drop. So choose whichever move you think is more beneficial, but I really like that very hard-hitting Draco Meteor. Pretty much, if you run Draco Meteor, you're going to be killing any Pokemon as long as it's a neutral hit. It does do a ton of damage. So that being said, we have Sludge Wave here, which is also Adaptability boosted. Very nice move. We have Scald to get those burns possibly, and it does give you that water type coverage. It sadly is not boosted by Adaptability, but it's still a pretty nice move. Then we have Thunderbolt for this final coverage move, but you could run some of these other moves here. We have Dragon Pulse, of course, which I already talked about. We have Bogus Blast if you wanted to run that. We have Hydro Pump if you wanted to run this instead of Scald. Then you could get that extra power there. Or you can run Shadow Ball for those psychic types, which you are indeed weak to. So that being said, guys, for the item, if you wanted to run like Life Orb or Black Sludge maybe, or I don't know, Expert Belt, then you definitely could. But I really like the choice specs there, just going all out on that damage. With the choice specs, Dragalge does indeed take lives. So that being said, let's move on to the next Dragalge set. This set takes advantage of Dragalge's natural bulk. You guys can see right here, we're going to be running an Acid Armor set. It's a very awesome set that I'm surprised not as many people use. It's definitely not as common as the previous set. But that being said, you want to go max HP, max special defense, and 4 in defense. Try to get the most out of your special bulk and your physical bulk. Now, for the nature, we have Calm. But if you wanted to go with a plus defensive nature, then you could definitely do that. There is definitely nothing stopping you if I can just type in that plus sign. Since we are boosting our defense with Acid Armor, I decided not to invest as much into defense and instead just make the most out of his special bulk. Now let's move on to the moves. We have Acid Armor, of course, to boost your special defense by 2. You want to try and get as many of these up as possible. Try and get plus 6. You'll be eating up hits from both sides of the spectrum. We have Dragon Pulse for just that dragon type stab. Now the reason why we're not running Draco Meteor here is because typically with setup Pokemon, you're not going to want to swap out as much. So the chances of you actually getting your special attack back is very slim. And you know, if you swap out, you're going to lose your Acid Armors. So I'd recommend just going with the Dragon Pulse. It's a very safe option. Then moving on, we have Sludge Wave. Of course, nice and powerful poison type stab. Adaptability boosted. Then we have the Scald for the burns mostly. It's a great water type attack. Gives you that coverage and has that chance to burn, which could be very nice, especially to boost your defense. Now that being said, you could swap out Scald for something like Focus Blast if you wanted to, or Shadow Ball, or Hydro Pump. It is 100% all your choice, but I am a very big fan of the burns there. So for the ability, we have Adaptability. Now Dragalge does get some other abilities here. It gets Poison Point, so if anybody makes physical contact with you, then you can eat it up with your Acid Armors, and there could be a chance to poison that Pokemon. It's not that bad, but Adaptability is definitely the better one. Then we have Poison Touch. Now, Poison Touch is pretty much useless unless you're running a physical Jonathan here. Then there's no point in running Poison Touch. So I'd recommend Adaptability is definitely the way to go. Moving on, we have Black Sludge. You definitely want to go with Black Sludge here over the Leftovers, simply because of the fact that Black Sludge is going to heal the same amount of HP as Leftovers, except for the fact that if you end up getting tricked, and if your item gets stolen, then all it's going to do is just hurt the other Pokemon, assuming they are not a poison type. So that's why I recommend Black Sludge, because it's only going to help you out, and if it ends up being tricked into like a Rotom Heat or something, then it's going to do damage to them instead of actually helping them out. So anyways, you can run Leftovers, but Black Sludge is definitely the way to go. I think that is pretty much it for this set. So let's move on to the final Dragalge set. This set is a bit interesting. It really is. It really is. It's more of a evenly bulky Dragalge with Black Sludge, and it's more of a lead Dragalge that sets up the Toxic Spikes. So anyways, max HP, max defense, Boar and special defense. I wanted to try and even out the two defenses and not just go max special defense, because you want to be bulky on both sides, and since we're not running acid armor on this set, I wanted to make sure that your defense was able to catch up to your special defense. For the nature, we have careful, but if you wanted to run like a positive defensive nature, such as Impish, then you can definitely do that. If you would rather be more physically bulky or especially bulky, it's 100% all up to you. Now, based on the moveset, you guys can see that this set is mostly a annoying and very, very heavy toxic stalling set. So anyways, the first move is Toxic Spikes. Now this move is very, very critical to this set. You want to set up those spikes as soon as possible, ensuring that whenever a Pokemon gets swapped in, they're going to be poisoned. So that's pretty nice. Then we have Protect to stall that poison. And then we have Dragon Tail. Now, if you guys didn't know, Dragon Tail is going to force the opponent to swap out into a random Pokemon. So if they're setting up, if they're going for Dragon Dances, you can Dragon Tail them out, get rid of their setup, and it definitely can work out well like that. The main use of Dragon Tail, though, is to swap around Pokemon and make sure that every single one of your opponent's Mons are 100% poisoned. So, anyways, though, for the final move, we have Rest. Now, Rest, I just kind of smacked on there. I figured it'd be a pretty nice health recovery method, of course. Rest is definitely not a bad move, but Poison and Steel types are immune to the Toxic. And of course, Fairy types are immune to Dragon. So if you wanted to cover the Fairy types and have some sort of offensive presence there, then you could run Sludge Wave once again. Just instead of the Impish nature, I'd recommend going with a minus speed nature, simply for the fact that you're not going to be outspeeding anything as it is. And you really don't want to lower your attack stat for Dragon Tail or your special attack stat for the Sludge Wave. So you could do that, or you could slap on like Iron Tail maybe if you wanted. But if you wanted something to touch the Poison and Steel types that are immune to the Toxic, sadly, there's not much. The first typing that comes to mind is Ground. But as you guys can see, the only Ground type move that it gets is HP Ground. I would say Focus Blast is probably your next best bet, just because it hits the Steel types. Sadly, it's not very effective on the Poison types, but Dragon Tail does hit the Poison types, at least for neutral damage. So, I don't know. It is kind of a tricky obstacle to overcome. You can at least hit the Steel types and then Dragon Tail out all the Poison types. Sadly, I think that is it for today's episode, though, guys. I know this last set was a bit iffy, but, you know, it's overall pretty okay idea with the Toxic Spikes, trying to get the Toxic stall off. But if you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that like button down below, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!